Good morning. I'm Dr. Johnny Seago, and you are here at Becoming Remarkable, a weekly blog by video that Dr. Emily Graham and I do to just encourage you in that journey that you're on to becoming even more of a remarkable creature than you already are. Every week, Emily and I choose a word, and then we try to expand on it just a little bit to give you something to think about and meditate. And of course, we'd love for you to comment below if you have insight into the word as well. So this week, the word is trust. And all of us know that if we've ever looked at any leadership material, the number one quality that employees, families, friends all say is important in their leader is trust. That was one of the very first things I studied whenever I studied educational leadership in the Kuntz and Posner study, which started out with like 1,300 executives and now is in the hundreds of thousands of people that they've surveyed. And yet it always comes out number one. If I'm going to follow someone, I must trust him. I know that we all have lots of stories of people that we really trust and ways that we really try to build trust. Now, if you're old enough, you remember several years ago, whenever Johnson & Johnson had a problem with tampering with Tylenol on the shelves. And within hours, they had stripped the shelves in pharmacies and grocery stores all across the United States. I think it was over $100 million just like that of product that they took off their shelves. So someone interviewed them that night on the news and said, how did you make that decision so quickly? Not to try to get ahead of the narrative or, fix the problem like that, but instead you just immediately eradicated the problem. And the executives who were being interviewed said, we made that decision years ago when we wrote our mission statement and we put the two words in there, honesty and integrity. And the executive was brilliant. And he said, if they can't trust us in a crisis, they'll never trust us in the good times. So that's such a great example. And I'm going to give you one more example from my own life just yesterday. And that was whenever a friend of mine came to me very nervous about confronting me about something that had happened years ago. And it was a situation where I had tried to help someone that I loved very dearly, and in so doing had compromised my integrity. Nobody knew except that person and myself and my husband. And yet that had stayed with them for a long time because it felt like it compromised both of our integrities. And so for years, even though we're very close and loving to each other, there's just been this little twinge of distrust. So what happened? So I repented, of course, apologized, confessed. There were lots of tears on both parts. And then at the end, we were stronger than we were ever before, because even though I acted without integrity in the beginning, my immediate response when brought to me was, of course I'm sorry. Of course that was wrong. Why didn't you come to me earlier so I could see my error earlier? Let me tell you what, the bond of trust between me and that person will never be thicker, because now they know they can trust me when I was right and when I was dead wrong. Build trust today. Be vulnerable. Let people know if you've messed up. Build trust. Have a wonderful week. I'd love to hear from you.